What if everything you thought about the birth of hard rock was wrong? Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Deep Purple. We know these names. But what if the seeds of heavy, distorted, aggressive rock were planted years before they ever hit the stage? Before the arena shows, before the Marshall stacks, before metal had a name, there were bands experimenting with sound, volume, and rebellion, often by accident. This is the untold story of 8 songs from the 1960s that secretly invented hard rock.
The
Kinks, you really got me. It started with a speaker and a razor blade. Dave Davies, guitarist for the Kinks, didn't like the way his amp sounded. Too clean, too polished. So he did what no one else dared to do. He slashed the speaker cone with a razor and poked it with a pin until it buzzed like a hornet's nest. The result? A distorted, gritty, filthy tone that had never been captured on record before. That sound became the heartbeat of You Really Got Me. A simple riff, 3 chords, but it hit like a sledgehammer. It was primal, it was dangerous, and most of all, it was different. Ray Davies' vocals sounded frantic. The rhythm was pounding, almost punk before punk existed. This wasn't just a British invasion hit. It was the accidental birth of heavy guitar rock. Van Halen would later supercharge it. Punk bands would worship it. But it all started with a ripped speaker and a pissed-off teenager with a razor. Steppenwolf, Born to Be Wild, 1968.
Born to be wild.
You've heard the riff, you've seen the movie, but here's what most people miss. Steppenwolf's Born to Be Wild may be the first song to ever use the term heavy metal. Literally. Like a true nature's child, we were born to be wild. Heavy metal thunder. Was it about motorcycles? Yeah, but it also captured the feeling of that era. Loud, fast, and completely untamed.
Looking for adventure in whatever comes our way.
Born to Be Wild wasn't just a song. It was a cultural moment, launching 1,000 biker gangs, leather jackets, and amps pushed to 11. If hard rock needed an anthem, this was it.
Looking for adventure in whatever comes our way. You don't know what.
The Yardbirds. Happenings 10 years time ago. The Yardbirds weren't just another British blues band. They were a science experiment in sound.
Do I know? Oh, memories don't strike me so.
And for one brief moment, they had both Jeff Beck and Jimmy Page on guitars. A cosmic overlap that would never happen again. Happenings 10 years time ago is what happens when you give 2 mad geniuses full control. The song is disjointed, frantic, and paranoid. The twin guitars slash and screech like machines in Meltdown. Beck and Page trade jagged solos that sound like someone ripping reality in half. Underneath it all is a pulsing sense of dread. An eerie psychedelic tension that was years ahead of its time. This wasn't rock and roll anymore. This was proto-metal chaos, spiraling into something new, loud, and unsettling. Cream, Sunshine of Your Love, 1967. Sometimes the future is born in a jam session. Eric Clapton and Jack Bruce were messing around after seeing Jimi Hendrix live. Something about Hendrix's raw energy lit a fire in them. That night, they stumbled onto a riff that sounded like it had crawled out of a swamp. Sunshine of Your Love didn't sound like anything else in 1967. It was blues, sure, but darker, more deliberate, and with an edge that cut through everything. Ginger Baker's drumming was tribal and relentless. Bruce's bass line felt like a coiled snake. Clapton's guitar, soaked in his now famous woman tone, didn't sing, it growled. This was a riff you didn't forget. It crawled into your brain and stayed there. More than a hit, Sunshine of Your Love proved that rock could be slow, heavy, and brutal without losing its soul. Blue Cheer, Summertime Blues, 1968. If there was ever a moment when rock stopped being polite and got truly loud, it was when Blue Cheer dropped their volcanic cover of Summertime Blues. The original version by Eddie Cochran? Fun, bouncy, a teen anthem. Blue Cheer's version, total annihilation. Guitar feedback screams like a jet engine. The bass is thunder, the drums sound like they're being played with sledgehammers. And Dickie Peterson's vocals? Somewhere between a yell and a threat. This wasn't a cover. It was a declaration of war. A middle finger to polished pop music. Critics hated it. Fans were stunned. It became one of the first true heavy metal recordings. Not just loud, unhinged. The Who, My Generation. The Who didn't just play music, they attacked it. Pete Townshend wrote My Generation after the Queen's entourage had his car towed. He was furious. That fury poured into every inch of the song. Roger Daltrey's iconic stutter wasn't just style. It was the sound of a teenager fed up with the world.
I'm not trying to cause a big sensation.
The whistle unleashed one of the most aggressive bass lines in rock history, unheard of at the time. Loud, explosive, and unapologetic. And when they started smashing their instruments on stage, the message was clear. The old world was over. Led Zeppelin, Dazed and Confused, 1969. When Led Zeppelin dropped Dazed and Confused on their debut album, everything changed. Sure, the song was originally written by Jake Holmes, but Jimmy Page twisted it into something darker, slower, heavier. The riff is massive, like a black hole dragging you in. Page bows his guitar like a man possessed. Robert Plant wails like a banshee. John Bonham's drumming, animalistic. There's tension in every second, like the whole song is holding its breath, waiting to explode. And when it does, it kills.
Sweet, sweet, sweet baby, I want you again. I'm longing for you. Sweet little baby, say what you will.
Dazed and Confused is where blues, psychedelia, and violence collide. It doesn't just foreshadow hard rock, it defines it. Black Sabbath, 1969. Three notes. That's all it took. When Tony Iommi struck the tritone, the devil's interval, the world changed. For centuries, that dissonant sound had been banned from church music. Too dark, too evil. Black Sabbath used it as their opening chord. Rain, church bells, doom. And then, that riff. Ozzy's voice floats like a ghost above the sludge. The lyrics? Fear, darkness, something watching you from the shadows. There's nothing romantic here. No love songs, no happy endings. This was the birth of heavy metal. These 8 songs didn't just push the boundaries of rock, they obliterated them. Which one hit you the hardest, and who do you think got left out? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next chapter in rock history.